Hey everyone, my name is Nero, and this is another episode of New Script on the Block, and we are here joined by Geoffrey Goldstein, correct?
That's it.
And Brandon Davis. All right, and we're going to read an original screenplay by Geoffrey, and it is called Cowboy, the Legend of Billy Tate. And before we get started on that, kind of wanted to do a quick introduction of who you are as a writer and such. So let's hear it.
I was born in the backseat of a Greyhound bus. No.
So you say, wow.
Sounds as good as any. My career, I've been writing since basically for about 15 years, 20 years, on a dare from a girlfriend.
Nice.
Basically, we went to the movies and I said, the movies that Hollywood are making are just terrible. She says, well, dude, write something better. So I did. So I started writing, and I was fortunate enough to find that I had a gift for it. And so I managed to option my second, third, and fourth screenplays ever to producer Mark Cook, who produced Lost in Space, Black Dog, Judicial Consent. He's a big-time producer back then, Christian producer. So Jewish boy was writing Christian scripts for him. I actually went back to school when I was 40, and I was living in the dorms at the school that I went to when I was 20. And during Christmas break, I wrote a script, and I sent it to Mark, and Mark moved me from Oregon down to Venice, California, where he put me out at a hotel for 3 months to write scripts for him on the beach, which I ended up working at that hotel after the 3 months were up and building my career in Hollywood. So I was a professional. He paid me for 3 options then. And then Hollywood, I basically left Hollywood and for a while and did other things and then came back. And when I came back, I wrote Cowboy. And I started writing, and since then I've probably put out 20 scripts for both TV and feature films.
Nice.
And Cowboy got the attention of a producer who took it to Gerald Molen, who won the Academy Award for Schindler's List. He also produced Jurassic Park. He also produced Rain Man, The Flintstones. So we have Tad Newberry from Big Yeah Productions optioned Cowboy, the script that we're about to read. And Gerald Molen hopped on as executive producer, and now we have a group of big-name actors, of A-list actors attached to it. And they're in the process of raising $13 million to film it.
Wow.
Nice.
And with $5 million in P&A, I think it's called. I don't know much about the business side. Anyways, it's in development right now, this particular script.
Very cool.
And so just because we have like 113 pages to go through, and we're going to be breaking up this by episode. So we're going to do the first like 40 pages today. And before we get started on that, just a couple of other like things that I want to settle first. One of them being like, if you can just give us like a brief like log line of what we're getting into, and then after that we can talk about like assigning characters. Like if there's like main characters that are just gonna keep popping up, that's when we can kind of divvy it out between the 4 of us here.
Sure.
Okay.
Are you gonna read first?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Do you have enough light?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry with the sound stuff.
So the story of Billy Tate is from 1860, and 11-year-old kid going through I don't want to be a spoiler alert, but basically he witnesses the massacre of his family at age 11. True story. And it's disguised as an Indian massacre, and it's really Mormon settlers who didn't want anyone settling their land. So anyways, 120 people were massacred. He was one of the very few that survived. And then he goes on to ride for the Pony Express. So I knew there's very little known about his life, but I knew the pieces of his life. And so I took the pieces and then I filled in the story in the middle. So it's a true story with fictional story.
Okay, development or like a journey.
So he's an 11-year-old boy who witnesses a massacre of his family and goes on to. So it was a true story.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Part of it.
And in terms of characters, we might need to fill in as we go, but for the main ones in the first couple of pages, I'm seeing Stanley, Rupert, Billy. Billy is the star.
Is the star.
So
absolutely.
And is a young boy, right? So Ash, if you want to take that.
I do have the voice of a 12-year-old boy.
Isn't Bart Simpson a female?
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of cartoon characters or voice actors are female.
Yep.
Yeah, the first scene is a real short scene with three characters, and then we go to modern day where there's a mailman and 3 boys.
Okay. So just for the first scene then, if we can break it down, I'll be Stanley, and Brandon, was it?
Yes.
You want to be Rupert?
Rupert it is.
And then
I'll be Billy.
Are you going to be Billy?
I'll be Billy.
Awesome.
And then
can you see?
Yeah, I can see.
If you want to read this, you can.
Was there a character specifically that you wanted to take on?
Me?
Jeffrey? Yeah.
I didn't know I was going to be doing all this. Do I get extra pay for this?
We're getting paid?
Hey, what is that?
Right.
Hold on.
I thought it was this water.
You could either do like the narration and then some characters, or I can also do the narration so you can focus just on like some of the characters.
Yeah, what would you like me to do? You want me to do the narration?
Okay, if you can do the narration.
You mean the action?
The action, yeah.
Okay.
And then like if there's any characters that we get to the point where we're like looking at each other, who's that? You can either take it, or the first one who like just takes the line and beats that person. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. This is what happens when we do those feature length scripts.
It's
on the fly.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Here we go. All right. Whenever you're ready.
Okay, the Fruited Plains, 1860 afternoon. We open with a John Ford wide shot of a classic Western vista. Theme music begins and builds as we hear horses racing towards us at breakneck speed. As the horses gallop over the camera, the title splashes across the screen. Graphic on screen. Cowboy, the Legend of Billy Tate. Plains. The cowboys ride through the landscape. Canyons. The cowboys ride through the canyons. As they approach a forest, the gallop slows to a canter, then a trot. Wilderness Trail. The cowboys walk their horses onto a trail. They are 3 Pony Express riders carrying heavily loaded saddlebags. Billy Tate, 14, male, slight, wispy hair, rides for the Pony Express. He sits atop the saddle of a beautiful Appaloosa named Scout. Good-spirited and friendly, Billy's infectious spirit wins over most anyone he comes into contact with. Billy rides with Stanley, a 30-something trail-hardened cowboy, and Rupert, a 50-something alcoholic. Clearing. As they ride into the clearing, Scout pulls up.
Whoa, easy, boy.
Billy turns Scout 360 degrees. Forest, same time. A group of Peyote Indians stealthily maneuver through the dense forest. Motioning by hand gesture, the Indian scouts ready their throwing axe and prepare to fire a bow and arrow. Clearing, same time. As Scout becomes increasingly agitated, Billy senses a threat.
What's the matter, Scout?
That old mule, as blind as he is and dumb.
Before you go calling anyone blind and dumb, old man, you best look yourself in the mirror.
I'm twice your age, boy. You best careful, sonny. I'm liable to kick your tail.
The only thing you're liable to do is get drunker than you already are and fall on your fat ass.
Kid, remind me not to bunk with that SOB when you get to Denver.
Mr. Rupert, sir, we're going to San Francisco.
The only place I'm going is behind the tree in Topeka.
Gripping his whiskey flask tight, an intoxicated Rupert stumbles off his horse and makes his way into the bushes.
Guess it's as good as a place as any to stop for some chow.
Stanley dismounts.
I don't think that's a good idea, Mr. Stanley. Scout doesn't pull up like that for no good reason.
You know, You're already getting a bit too big for your britches. I've been doing this longer than you've been alive. I don't need no boy telling a grown man how to ride. When I say we stop, we stop.
Stanley circles his horse. Bushes, same time. A smile of relief on his face, Rupert waters the bushes.
And that's me. Sorry.
Screaming. Don't you be yelling at me. I'll take my sweet time if...
Thwack! A deer in headlights look comes over Rupert's face as he falls forward, a throwing axe impaled in his back. Clearing. Stanley, arrow through his shoulder, holds on for dear life as his horse raises to hind legs. A war call sounds as the Indians attack. Thrown off his horse, Stanley lumbers to his knees, draws his revolver, and opens fire. Billy ducks as arrows fly his way. Using Scout as a shield, hanging over the side, Billy smacks Scout and gallops away. Stanley is tackled and mounted by a knife-wielding Indian warrior. Raising his razor-sharp blade high, he grabs Stanley by the hair, peels back his scalp, and screams an incoherent battle cry. Escape trail. Feet dangling, holding on for dear life, Billy bounces back atop Scout and gallops down the escape trail. Shooting arrows, the Indians take chase. Thwack! An arrow finds its mark, ripping through Billy's shoulder. Billy falls forward as Scout gallops away. Clearing. Hands high in the air, one wielding Stanley's bloody scalp. The ward party screams incoherent war cries as Billy and Scout disappear down the escape trail. Anytown, USA, modern day. A sunshiny day in suburbia. A mailman walks down a tree-lined street delivering the mail. Okay, 3 kids, James, Keith, and Alberto, 8 years old, play on the front porch. James notices their mailman approaching. The boys rush the gate.
There he is!
The happy-go-lucky mailman, 60s, Sam Elliott type, opens the gate and strolls up the walkway. The boys approach.
Ask him.
You ask him.
Whoa, buddy, ask me what?
I'll ask him. It's my package.
It's our package.
Yeah, and I mowed like 50 lawns. It's our package.
Okay, our package.
What in the name of brown boxes is so important?
It's our Xbox.
Oh, I see. Video games. That is important.
The most important thing in our life.
The most important thing in the whole world.
Boys give a collective heck yeah nod.
Sir, did it come?
Wait. Let me get this straight. The 3 of you pitched in and bought this Xbox that you're going to share, and you want to know if it's in today's mail.
Exactly. Do you have it?
Okay, hold your horses. Let me check. Mailman reaches into his satchel, producing the mail and a box.
He's got it. I told you guys it would come today.
Wait just a minute. Are you Vivian O'Brien?
That's my mom.
Then, gentlemen, I'm afraid you're out of luck today.
See, I told you it wasn't coming.
When did you order this contraption?
Yesterday, but...
Wait, yesterday?
Yeah, the website said same-day shipping.
Same-day shipping, maybe, but not next-day delivery. You got to give it at least a few days, maybe even a week. The boys' faces drop. Maybe even 2. The boys are crushed. Unless, of course, you paid extra to have it shipped overnight.
We didn't have enough for that.
It's gonna take forever to get here.
Well, not forever, but not today. Do you know it used to take months for mail to cross the country?
What took so long?
Back then, there were no cars, no roads, and no video games. Heck, there wasn't even electricity back then. The boys gasp. Like the games on your computer screens, it was a battle just to get the mail to customers. Some of the mail carriers weren't much older than you boys.
We're 8.
8 and a half.
8 3/4.
Well, if you're 8 3/4, you've obviously heard of the famous Billy Tate. Blank stares from the boys.
The skateboarder?
Nope.
The rapper?
The Pony Express. More blank stares. Oh boy, this is going to take a while. No, boys. Billy didn't ride a skateboard and sing on stage. He rode a beautiful Appaloosa named Scout. His stage was wild, open spaces. He delivered mail for the United States Postal Service before cars, electricity, or video games.
Apocalypsa is a horse?
Appaloosa.
Oh, Appaloosa.
Right you are, sir.
Oh, was he a cowboy?
Well, yeah, I guess he was a cowboy. He was for sure a boy. Back over 150 years ago, he delivered mail and packages for the Pony Express.
You mean the Old West?
Yep, and where they rode, it was the wild, wild west. Okay, flashback, exit town, day, year, 1860. Townsfolk watch in amazement as hunched over unconscious Billy, arrow through his shoulder, rides Scout into town and down Main Street. The year was 1860. Billy had lost both his parents in an ambush. With an arrow clean through his shoulder, Scout rode a blood-soaked, unconscious Billy into town.
Billy's already dead? Gee, mister, that was a short story.
Like the delivery of your Xbox. Patience, my boy, patience. Now, where was I? Oh, yeah, with an arrow clean through his shoulder, Billy was in a heap of trouble. On a horse some say was led by God himself, Billy came upon a small western town. Old-timer, male 70s, grabs Scout and bridles him towards the doctor's office. Doctor's office, exterior continuous. Good-spirited Dr. Cartwright, male 40s, Matthew McConaughey type, looks out the window, races outside to assist carrying Billy into the office. Interior doctor's office continuous. Old-timer and Doc hoist Billy onto the examination table.
Lay him down on the side. The arrow needs to come out.
Sure thing, Doc.
That's why I wanted
Good old-timer. That's a good one.
I'll keep it going.
Keep going.
Doctor and old-timer carefully turn Billy in preparation for the extraction.
Where's this boy from?
I don't know, Doc. On account of that arrow, I reckon he was in a battle with Injuns. He came riding in on a horse. Well, I suppose he wasn't riding as much as his horse just kind of brought him in.
Doctor examines bloody Billy.
Is he going to make it?
I don't know. He's lost a great deal of blood. Please fetch my wife. I'm going to need her. I'm going to need to save this boy's life.
Right away, Doc.
Old-timer exits.
Lord, please give me strength. To save this boy, your will be done.
Doctor attends to Billy. Interior, doctor's home. 1 week later, a heavily bandaged Billy lies in bed, recovering from his wounds. Kelsey, 14-year-old daughter of Dr. Cartwright, is with Max, 8-year-old brother, and Spencer, 6-year-old brother. They stand next to Billy's bed, surveying the stranger in their home.
I bet he was out robbing banks and got ambushed by the sheriff.
Max, you're as dumb as a tree trunk. The sheriff don't use no arrows. Only Indians use arrows.
He's probably a no-good fugitive. I hate him.
Yesterday you said you wanted to marry him.
Spencer Cartwright. I did not say that. I said I thought he was kind of cute, but I changed my mind. Now I think he's a no-good, low-down varmint.
Yep.
And I want nothing to do with him.
Then what are you doing standing next to his bed for?
For your information, little brother, Daddy is a doctor. I'm merely checking in on the patient.
Right, and you've been checking in on him every 5 minutes since Daddy brought him in.
I just don't want some dirty cowboy dying in our house, that's all.
Sorry.
Yep, I think Kelsey's in love.
Kelsey's in love.
Spencer and Max playfully hug and air kiss each other as they tease their love-struck sister.
Will you marry me, Kelsey Cartwright?
Heck no, you're a no good varmint.
Max and Spencer crack up laughing.
Stop it! Stop it now!
Mother, Linda Cartwright.
I'll be the mom.
Female 40s, Jenna Fisher type. Doctor's wife, mother, and nurse enters carrying bandages.
All of you stop this nonsense. I told you y'all not to bother this boy. He's been through a bad spell and needs his rest. Now get to your chores before your father gets home.
Yes, Mom.
Okay, Mama. When he wakes up, you're going to find out who the heck he is before we do anything. Is that clear? Yes, Mama. Now all you get.
Max and Spencer exit. Kelsey remains.
That means you too, Juliet.
Mama, I was thinking that maybe I should stay and help you dress his wounds. I know how much you do around here for everyone, and...
And kissing up... sorry. And kissing up won't work here, Miss Kelsey. Now get your tail down to the creek and finish the wash. You can help this boy best be cleaning those bloody bandages in the hamper. Now get.
Yes, Mama. Mama, is he gonna make it?
God willing, I believe he'll pull through. Your prayers wouldn't hurt him none, child.
Staring at Billy, Kelsey ignores Mother.
Kelsey, bandages.
Yes, Mama. I'll do it for him. You right now.
Kelsey exits.
Head over heels in love. God help us.
Mother tends to Billy's bandages. Dining room table that night. The Cartwrights enjoy the evening meal.
I'm just saying we should be cautious, Father.
Mother, please. He's just a boy. What harm could he cause?
He had a pistol, didn't he?
2 pistols and a hunting knife. Of course, that arrow through his shoulder.
Now, what's a boy his age doing with 2 guns and a knife?
He's a real-life cowboy!
Air pistols in hand, Max jumps from the dinner table, shooting off his mouth.
Bang! Out killing engines and ripping bears apart with bare hands. Bang! Bang! Maxwell Cartwright. You will sit down and finish your supper.
Max looks to Doctor for support.
You heard your mother.
Yes, sir.
I think he's a no-good varmint, and we should have Sheriff Joe put him in jail.
Kelsey, don't you think we owe it to the boy not to judge him? You heard Pastor Hunter on Sunday. Everyone deserves a chance.
Mother stands and begins to clear the dirty plates.
And in this house, we leave the judging up to God. Kelsey, help me clear these plates.
Mother exits to the kitchen.
Yes, ma'am.
Kelsey's in love.
Kelsey grabs a handful of plates.
Will you marry me, cowboy?
Heck no, I'm not in the habit of marrying no good varmints.
Doctor smiles as he watches the sideshow.
Stop it! Stop it, or I'll... Where am I? Who are you people?
Noticing Billy standing in the doorway, Kelsey drops her payload. Plates shatter as they hit the floor. Mother enters from the kitchen. Doctor stands.
Hello, son. It's good to have you back. I'm Dr. Cartwright. We're in my home, and this is my family. You were brought here badly wounded on a horse.
Where's Scout?
Is that your horse?
Yes, sir.
He wasn't injured. He's being well taken care of down at the stable. He rode in with you on his back. In fact, he saved your life.
In fact, my husband saved your life.
Sir, thank you. Thank you kindly. I reckon it wasn't in God's plan for me to die just yet. I'm afraid my partners weren't so lucky.
I told you he was a bank robber.
Wide-eyed, open-mouthed, Billy views the remaining food on the table.
Where are your manners, son? What's your name?
Billy, sir. Billy Tate.
Well, Billy Tate, we're just finishing supper, but there's plenty left over. Would you care to join us?
Sir, I'd be much obliged. I'm just a bit hungry.
As well you should be. You haven't eaten in near a week.
A week?
7 days today. Please, Billy, join us.
Here, Billy. You can sit in Kelsey's chair since she's busy cleaning up.
Mother pulls out Kelsey's chair for Billy. Kelsey returns Mother a death stare.
Thank you, ma'am.
Here, let me fix you a plate. Kelsey, please get Billy a clean plate from the kitchen.
Why do I have to do it? Probably because you broke them others when you seen me. It wasn't because I seen you. So you're just in the habit of breaking plates for no good reason?
All eyes on Kelsey.
Mother!
Kelsey, go into the kitchen and fetch Billy a plate.
And you might as well fetch a broom while you're in there to clean up that mess you made. Daddy!
Well, the boy has a point. Get the plate, then fetch the broom to clean up your mess.
I hate you. Well, that makes no sense. I ain't done nothing to you yet.
Kelsey exits.
Don't forget the broom.
Kelsey jets back into the room.
I ain't fetching no broom.
With attitude, Kelsey retreats into the kitchen.
You'll have to excuse Kelsey. We're just not used to having visitors.
Kelsey's a pretty name for such a klutzy girl. I ain't klutzy.
She's just a little too tall for her feet.
And, sir, you being a doctor and all, I'll take that as gospel. Daddy!
She's likes you.
She said you were cute.
Mad as a hornet, Kelsey rushes in from the kitchen.
Mother! Daddy!
Kelsey, where's Billy's plate?
I hate everyone.
Kelsey retreats into the kitchen.
Oh, man.
Isn't it true, though?
Yeah, she just can't get a break.
Okay. No disrespect intended, sir, but that's one spirited daughter you have there.
Oh, none took, Billy. She takes after her mother in that respect.
Kelsey enters and slams a plate on the table.
Your plate.
Mother fills the plate with food and hands it to Billy.
Thank you, ma'am. I'd be careful there, Miss Kelsey. You're gonna break every dish in the house acting that way. I'll act however I choose to act, Billy. Whatever your name is, you're in my house.
Closing eyes, mouthing grace, Billy digs in.
No, you're in my house, and since it looks as though you two will be housemates for a spell, you both best learn to get along.
Sorry, sir. I certainly meant no disrespect. I apologize, Miss Kelsey. I assure you I'll be on my best behavior from here on out. Well, I don't accept your apology. Just don't be paying me no, never mind, and we'll get along just fine.
Collecting a set of dirty dishes. It's the way they used to talk in this house.
Yeah, no, I know.
Collecting a set of dirty dishes, Kelsey exits to the kitchen.
Speaking of paying, sir, I'd like to pay you for your doctrine. I have a grip of money in my saddlebags. That is, if they've arrived with Scout and me.
See, I told you.
He is a bank robber.
Yes, they did. They're under your bed, but no payments needed right now. We can discuss that later.
Billy bolts from the room.
This podcast is brought to you by Arizona Studios. Arizona Studios, a full-service video content specialist. We're here to illuminate your message and compel your audience to take the right action. For more information, head to our website at arizonastudios.com and be sure to tune in for more content on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
Wow, a real-life bank robber in our house.
I knew he was a no-good varmint.
Honey, lower your voice.
I will not. I am not afraid of some no-good bank robber.
Dad, maybe you best go fetch Sheriff Joe.
No one's going anywhere. We're going to do what the good Lord would want us to do. Give the boy a chance to explain himself.
Carrying saddlebags, Billy enters.
Sir, I only have $50 right now, but when I finish the next job, I'll be able to pay any balance due.
I knew it!
Billy, what exactly do you do?
I'll show you.
The Cartwrights duck under the table as Billy reaches in his saddlebag.
I ride.
Billy notices the family taking cover. Pulling a handful of mail from his saddlebag.
I ride for the Pony Express.
A collective sigh of relief, the Cartwrights emerge from under the table. Living room later that night. Billy is propped up in an easy chair. Doctor sits on the couch. Max and Spencer sit on the floor. Billy at Billy's feet.
Billy, how long have you been riding for the Pony Express?
Per near 2 months, give or take a few days, I expect.
Mother enters with a platter of cups.
I made cocoa for everyone. Kelsey's making cookies. I don't want none.
Mama, Billy don't want no cocoa. He's a real cowboy. He drinks whiskey or moonshine.
Kelsey pokes her head from the kitchen, eavesdropping.
Sorry to disappoint y'all, but I don't drink no whiskey. Fact is, I don't drink no alcohol at all. I've seen what the stuff does to a man, and I don't want no part of it. Ma'am, I would love a cup of cocoa.
Kelsey retracts head.
Absolutely, Billy. Maybe you'd like Max and Spencer's cups as well, since they have suddenly lost their taste for chocolate.
If Billy's having some, I want some too.
Me too.
Mother serves the cocoa.
Thank you kindly, ma'am. Cocoa ain't a thing you see very much in my line of work.
Mother serves Doctor his cocoa.
Billy, what's a boy of your age doing riding for the Pony Express?
Well, ma'am, the pony hires all ages, even orphans, like me.
Mother is taken aback on orphan.
Mother, the boy just got here. Maybe he doesn't feel like sharing every aspect of his life with us in the first hour we were together.
Kelsey pops her head out of the kitchen, eavesdropping.
Sir, I'm so grateful to y'all for saving my life and all, I've kind of come into your lives unexpected. Like, seems the least I can do is tell y'all about mine.
Kelsey's head retracts back into the kitchen.
Billy, how old are you?
I'm right about 14 years old. I don't know exactly when my birthday is. My mom and pa kept track of those kinds of things. Wasn't something that seemed that important to me anyhow.
Oh, you're just a couple years older than me.
Math was never my best subject, Spencer, but that seems like proper arithmetic.
Billy, how is it that the Pony Express came about hiring a boy your age?
Sir, crazy as it may seem, they're in the habit of doing exactly that.
Pa, it just doesn't seem right for those vultures to be taking advantage of children.
Not to be disrespectful, ma'am, but I didn't really look at it as no one taking advantage of me. After all, I was making more money than any kid my age. Heck, I was making more than most adult men. Kind of made me feel like a big man. Although Mama always said that God didn't take kindly to braggarts and vanity. So I just kind of kept it to myself.
I just don't think putting a child in harm's way is proper.
Mother, don't get yourself all riled up. Let's hear it from the child himself exactly what happened.
Well, it's kind of a long story. I don't want to take up all your family time telling my boring life story.
We ain't doing nothing, right, Pa? Billy can tell the story, can he?
We ain't going nowhere, right, Pa?
Of course he can. I don't think you have a choice now, son.
Wearing an apron covered in flour, stirring batter in a bowl, Kelsey enters from the kitchen.
Well, all right. I reckon I sort of owe it to you. So you can get to know the wounded stranger in your house and all.
Tell it.
Flashback, Old West Town day. A top scout, Billy rides down the main street of a quintessential Old West town.
Scout, that's my horse, at the stables. My horse and my best friend, I suppose. Anyways, we were running short on supplies, so we moseyed down the hill and wandered into town.
A drunk old man approaches, blocking Scout's path. He stops and gives Billy a cross-eyed once-over. Scout holds up. Billy tips his hat. The drunk staggers away. Further down the road, a drunken brawl crashes through the swinging doors of a town tavern. A traditional Old West fist fight ensues.
Now, almost all the town in those parts were what they call dry towns. That means they didn't sell no alcohol. But in this one, there seemed to be quite a bit of drinking going on.
As the fight spills into the street, Scout swings wide to avoid the confrontation. Even further down the road, past the altercation, Billy spies a shopkeeper, male 50, sweeping his front porch. I'll play shopkeeper.
Something told me, however, that this was the place I should be stopping for a spell. Daddy always told me to follow my instincts, so that's exactly what I did.
Scout approaches shopkeeper and holds up.
I rode up to the shopkeeper and said,
Vocal fade.
"Excuse me, sir. Do y'all know anyone hiring for work out here?"
Where are you from, boy?
Sort of from everywhere and nowhere in particular. Right now, I suppose I'm from right here.
Ain't you a bit too young to be from nowhere in particular?
Well, sometimes you don't have no choice about where you're from or how old you are when you get there.
I reckon not. I remember seeing a sign at the Mercantile down yonder for some type of riding work. Seems you have a pert good horse.
The best anywhere. And he's got a pretty good rider, too.
Shopkeeper searches the landscape for the pert good rider. Billy takes notice.
I was referring to me.
Shopkeeper puts on his bifocals, gives Billy a second once-over. I reckon you're right. Then it seems prudent for y'all, you and your horse there, check out down yonder at Brown & Sons Mercantile.
I'll do just that, sir, and thank you kindly.
Billy tips his hat and continues his journey. Exit Brown & Sons Mercantile moments later. Customers flood in and out of Brown & Sons as Billy approaches. Dismounting, Billy spies a sign in the front window as he ties Scout to the hitching post. Sign reads, rider wanted for Pony Express, inquire within. Interior, Brown & Sons continuous. Billy enters the store and grabs a sign from the window. With a spring in his step and a smile on his face, he makes his way through the busy store. Spying a sign that reads office, Billy heads for the semi-open door. As he approaches, he overhears the sound of a heated argument from inside the office and stops short of entering. Boss, male 60s, Mel Gibson type, manager of the Pony Express. Office, paces the floor. Darnell, male 50s, Foster Brooks type, which is a drunk. A rider for the Pony Express sits slumped over his chair next to Boss's desk. Darnell is, as always, drunk.
I gave you one more chance. 7 chances ago, Darnell.
But this time I mean it.
See this?
Boss holds up a piece of paper. Darnell looks away.
It says, I promise not to smoke, gamble, or drink while riding for the Pony Express. You signed it, dang it, and I expect my riders to abide by it.
Billy opens the door and steps into the doorway.
I ain't signed no paper saying I won't drink. Amanda deserves to have a drink once in a while.
You already signed it, stupid.
I did?
Look, Darnell, I don't have a problem with a man having a drink once in a while. The problem is that your once in a while is every dang day. All day.
I might have signed it, but I didn't mean it. Forcing a man to sign something like that can't read against the law. I think, your information, I don't drink every day. Matter of fact, I drink every other day.
But you drink for 2 days straight. Every time you drink, you can do the math.
Actually, I can do no math. I'm absent that day.
Probably because you was drunk.
Heck no, I wasn't drunk. I didn't start drinking till I was 10 or 9.
Billy takes his one step into the office.
Sir, is this the Pony Express office?
Boy, can't you see I'm busy?
I'm sorry, sir. I just seen the sign in the window and...
Don't go anywhere, boy. We're almost done.
No, we're not almost done. We are definitely done. Darnell, you're fired. Get your drunk butt out of my office.
Fired? Good Lord. I'm going to tell my wife.
Darnell, you don't have no wife.
I don't?
No, you don't. She left you 6 years ago because you was always drunk.
She did?
Yes, Darnell, she did.
Reaching in the desk drawer, Boss produces a handful of coins.
I can't believe she left me. How many years ago?
6.
6 years ago? No wonder I haven't seen her lately.
Look, partner, I'm going to pay you for your last week, even though it's Monday. Now, you take this and get out of my office.
The boss sets the coins on the desk next to Darnell.
They ain't no week's pay.
I should minus the 2 weeks advance I gave you last week, but I ain't.
I don't remember no advance.
Boss searches his desk, producing a piece of paper. He sticks it in Darnell's face.
I knew you wanted, so I took this liberty of having you sign this.
Darnell falls forward, trying to catch a glimpse of the paper.
What's this? My signature doing on this paper?
Darnell, get out of my office before I change my mind and take back the money.
Darnell clutches the coins and places them securely in his pocket. Standing, he begins an exit, stops, then abruptly turns to Boss.
You just wait till my wife hears about this. She gonna be mad as a hornet.
Uttering incoherent gibberish, Darnell pushes Billy aside and exits. Billy dusts off his lapel and enters.
Hello, sir. My name's Billy Tate, and...
Boy, what are you doing clogging up my doorway? The toys are on the aisle 3.
Sir, with all due respect, I ain't looking for no toys. I'm looking for work.
Well, go look somewhere else. I already got me a clean-up boy.
Actually, sir, I saw this sign in the window. I'm not here to be cleaning up. I'm here to ride.
You're here to what?
Boss stands and hurries around the desk.
What the heck did you go and take my sign out of the window for?
Boss snatches the sign from Billy's hand and exits the office. Billy follows. Store. Continuous. Intent on returning the sign to the front window, Boss weaves in and out of customers. Billy does his best to keep up.
Taking a man's sign out of the window. What's this world coming to?
Sir, I'll work hard. I'm honest, and I have a great horse.
Boss stops, turns, and faces Billy.
Look, boy, I may be needing riders. What I don't need is no kid's ma and pa suing the company for hiring a boy to do a man's job. Now get before I call the sheriff and have you arrested for trespassing.
Boss continues to the front window.
I don't have no ma or pa.
Boss stops, ponders, then proceeds. Placing the sign in the window, Boss heads back to the office.
I don't smoke, I don't gamble, and I don't drink.
Boss stops in his tracks. Flashback ends. Living room. Mother tends to Billy's wounds as the Cartwrights listen intently to Billy's story.
So, you got the job.
Yes, sir, I did.
Billy, you mentioned you have a mother and father?
Well, I used to, but not no more. Guess I wouldn't be here if I never did.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to.
Dear, please.
Oh, it's all right, sir. I reckon that talking about it might just help take the sting out of the past.
Billy, you don't have to talk about it if you don't choose not to.
I'd like to know what happened to his parents. He seems to be taking on mine as his own. I really don't have no choice, Miss Kelsey, seeing that it wasn't my choice to get shot with an arrow and all.
Kelsey, don't you have some cookies you best be attending to?
Kelsey storms out of the room.
Miss Kelsey, if you would, no chocolate in mine, please. Too much chocolate gives me the gas. The gas.
The kids.
With attitude, Kelsey steps from the kitchen.
I'll make my cookies any way I choose to make them, Billy. Whatever your name is. It's Tate, Miss Kelsey. But if your schooling hasn't taught you to pronounce no four-letter words, Billy will do just fine, thank you. For your information, Billy Tate, I'm making oatmeal cookies.
Kelsey retreats into the kitchen.
With chocolate. Sir, have I told you what a spirited...
Daughter, I have, yes. Son, you have. And I believe I mentioned she takes after...
Her mother. Yes, you did.
For your information, Billy Tate, I get the best marks in my class at school. I reckon you haven't gotten to the plate, Karen, and cookie-making lesson of your schooling yet.
Mad as a hornet, Kelsey covered in flowers enters.
If you put some flour in them cookies, we may just be eating them by sunrise. If I hadn't been in here listening to your stupid story, we'd be eating them by now.
Kelsey retreats into the kitchen.
The way she keeps trailing in and out of the kitchen, y'all are gonna have to buy her a new pair of shoes right quick. I heard that, Billy, whatever your name is. I thought you didn't want to hear any of my stupid stories, Miss Kelsey. So where was I?
You were just about to tell us why you no longer have a mom and pa.
Kelsey covertly positions herself within earshot of the kitchen.
Oh yeah, actually I'd rather forget this one, but I don't think that will ever happen. There ain't a moment that goes by I don't think about it.
Flashback. Exit. Black Ridge. Day. A wagon train rolls through the plains.
Daddy had an idea that we would join a wagon train and head west. His dream was a patch of land where we could stake our claim and start a better life. Ma was all for it, so we packed up and off we went.
The trailmaster, male 30s, rides from the back of the train to the front wagon. Holding up his hand, the wagon grinds to a halt. Hills above Black Ridge, same time. Willie Boone, male 60s, outlaw Josie Wales type, and his gang of outlaws, male 30s and 40s, stealthily maneuver through the brush, surveying the wagon train in the valley below.
How old were you, Billy?
Back then I was 11 years old.
Using hand gestures, Willie Boone holds up his gang. On my command, ride hard and shoot straight. Gang members preparing their disguise apply face paint and sharpen arrows. Carrying hatchets, rifles, and bow and arrow, the gang members disguised as Indians step forward to the disguised Indians. You know the plan. Get your head wrapped around this. They're trespassing on our land. Stanley, Lenny, John, follow me. The rest of you fellas come up from the rear. Gunners first. Let the hatchets and arrows do the rest. When I give the engine sign, raise my hand, it's on. Now get. Taking their assigned courses, the gang scatters. Wagon train, lead wagon, same time. Billy sits between his mother, 30s, and father's 30s. Father holds the reins. Trailmaster gallops up on Billy's wagon. Looks as good a place as any to stop for a spell. Got some good coverage from the wind down here.
I reckon so. We could use the rest.
And not a minute too soon. My boy needs to take a nature call.
All I needed to hear, ma'am. Y'all circle round. This here's the spot we stop.
Mama, can I go now? You may.
Billy hightails off the wagon.
Billy,
Billy stops in his tracks.
you forgot the paper and shovel again. Yes, ma'am.
Grabbing the shovel and paper off the side of the wagon, Billy retreats to the high brush. Willie Boone and 2 gang members approach.
Mother, it looks like we got company.
Billy's mother notices the gang.
Settlers like us?
Looks that way. I'll see what they want. You get back there and fetch the trailmaster.
Billy's mother jumps from the wagon and runs to the trailmaster. Howdy there!
Howdy.
That's a mite large group of wagons y'all got there.
We come from St. Louis. We're heading west looking for land to settle.
Trailmaster rides up. Howdy, sir. Howdy. Is there a problem here? No problem. I was just about to warn your friends here. Warn him about? About the Indian uprising down yonder. Funny, the word we got at the last town was the Indians were friendly around here. Well, you know them Injuns. Brush, same time. Billy squats behind the tall grass. Hearing the commotion, he peers just as Willie Boone spits a wad of chewing tobacco on the ground. Raising his hand, giving the Indian howl gesture, Willie Boone says, "You can't trust him as far as you can throw him." A faux Indian war cry is heard in the distance. Clearing, the horses on Billy's wagon train pull up as the faux Indians ride from the hills. Billy's father and trailmaster reach for their pistols as the Indians close in. Bang, bang, bang. Willie Boone and his partner gun down Billy's father and trailmaster. Firing at will, the gang attacks. Reaching for their guns in vain, husbands and sons are handily gunned down. The faux Indians shoot a barrage of bullets and arrows at the terrified settlers. Men, women, and children fall. Brush. Hearing the gunshots and screams of terror, Billy slowly pushes the brush aside. Witnessing the horrific scene unfolding in front of him, he retreats behind the cover of the tall grass. As he watches the horrific scene unfolding before his eyes, he ponders a rescue attempt, then reconsiders. Breathing heavily and sobbing uncontrollably, Billy gathers all the courage he can muster. Closing his eyes in prayer, he leaps through the brush. A bloody settler falls at his feet. Paralyzed with fear, terrorized and helpless, he retreats behind the safety of the tall grass. Tears stream down his face. Billy helplessly watches in horror as every man, woman, and child in the wagon train is systematically executed. Clearing, a toddler crawls to her dead mother. Willie Boone. Make sure they're all dead and go through them wagons. Grab anything we need. From atop his horse, Willie grabs a gang member, pulls him close, and commands, "Them burn them wagons." The gang member smiles and gives a reassuring nod yes. Weaving in and out of the carnage, Willie Boone gallops away. Leaping off the wagon, a gang member lights a rag from a glass bottle and throws it inside. The wagon bursts into flames. The toddler cries as she sits atop her mother's dead body. Flashback ends.
Okay. That's where we stop.
Nice.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Right when it was getting good, too.
So this is the first 40 pages again of Cowboy, the Legend of Billy Tate, and the next episode where we bring back Cowboy and the Legend of Billy Tate, we're going to continue on to finish this feature-length script.